Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's Queen Sugar Season 7, Episode 12, entitled Be and Be Better. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around and keep all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. Ms. Carmichael with CPS examines the household of Hollywood and Vi again for possible fostering. Even though their home hasn't changed since her last visit, she still must observe everything according to policy. After observing everything, they are approved and on the official roster for permanent fostering in the state of Louisiana. Once the report is submitted, they will be notified about assignments. The notification can range from 72 hours to 90 days. They should stay ready. They are so excited about whether the child will be a boy or a girl. After Miss Carmichael leaves, they celebrate with more smiles. They both have wanted this for so long, and now it's time to stay ready. Nova rests deep in thought as Dominic brings her ginger and turmeric tea. He offers a croissant. She needs to eat, but Nova doesn't have an appetite. He's sorry about her Aunt Martha. She doesn't have to host for his friends tonight. He can find another spot. Nova can't believe that Martha's gone. There's so much she wanted to learn and discuss with her. She was so disconnected, and he doesn't have to find another place to host. She wouldn't have missed this evening with his friends for the world. She wants to meet his friends, his people, in which whom he travels the world. Vi receives the final copies of the contracts for her lawyers to review and confirm. Now they can get to taste the recipes that the lab teams have tried hard to duplicate. They can't finalize anything until they get Vi's approval. Vi takes the first bite and it's missing cinnamon. The flavor is all wrong. She tastes as she goes, and certain recipes, they're all in her head. The rep presses that all of her recipes that are in her head need to be on paper as soon as possible. Now the mock pie box designs. Vi has mixed reactions. They're nice, but anyone can tell that she's not too thrilled. She will consider everything, and they need to make sure the cinnamon is not forgotten. Ra and Nova look at the land details of what's left of their mother's legacy. There were drawings in Aunt Martha's book. There is so much they need to learn. The green lines represent all of their land. There was even a praise house nearby. Nova is saddened that she spent so much time trying to live up to her father's expectations that she lost track of her mother's. Ra doesn't want her to be sad. Dad was like that. It was a struggle trying to be oneself and wanting to please Dad at the same time. Maybe Charlie was the only one that had it all together in his head. Nova disagrees. Charlie probably disappointed him less because she wasn't there in St. Joe like they were. Rod doesn't want to be that way with his children. He wants them to know that they can be human and shouldn't be afraid to make mistakes. Nova wants Rod to understand. At least Dad tried. When Mom died, he was left with 2 children, a broken farm, and a broken heart. Hollywood passes out flyers encouraging others to attend the school board debate. The children need them more than ever. Prosper is worried. Maybe Hollywood shouldn't waste his time with the school board. Certain people have their own ways of thinking, and they don't listen to what's necessary. Hollywood knows the risk, but the goal is to get on the inside. If he's elected, he won't need to be on the dad patrol at school. They need more power to get things done. Prosper loves his enthusiasm and knows that he loves those children with all of his heart. He grabs some more of the flyers for Sandy to pass out at the hospital. Prosper even laughs at the phase of being a newlywed. Sandy rearranged everything at his house, and whatever couldn't be rearranged got thrown away. Despite the slight discomfort of not having 100% privacy anymore, he's enjoying every moment. Ra comes home, and he's not sure if Darla is gearing up for an argument, as her remarks are short and to the point. Hi, how are you? How's your day? They're still in disagreements about telling Blue certain details, and it's all a ploy to surprise Ralph with a visit from Blue. Blue likes their new home because his grandparents' house is too big. He gets lost in it sometimes. I mean, why do they have a 3-car garage if they only have 2 cars? Blue notices the height board that his dad kept to remind them of home. It's only right that they measure Blue and True now. They spend quality time full of laughs and love. Micah and Kiki chill as Micah awaits a call from the Studio Museum. He met a curator there and sent some of his work. He loved New York. It was eye-opening. He's been there before, but something about that last trip hit different. It felt like home. It's what he wanted home to feel like. While he speaks, Kiki seems a little upset. He wants her to speak her mind. Does she have something to say? She does. It seems since she's known him, Micah is always looking for the next big thing. But Micah now feels misunderstood because that's not the case at all. He went to New York to find investing for the collective in Louisiana. LA is his parents' thing. He grew up there, but it's their way of life. When he took the trip to Paris for the summer, that was cool, but again, something was missing. New Orleans is beautiful, magical, comfortable, and amazing, but he's trying to step out of his comfort zone. And that's what he felt when he went to New York. And they both agree. That's where he should be. Billy loves the new arrangements of their home. She even jokes how Sandy let him keep that old chair. He's glad he kept it because it's not going anywhere until he does. That chair has seen years of stories. He offers to let Billy come stay with them until she can find a new place since Dominic is back at Nova's. Billy, though, has some plans underway. She will move back to Chicago as soon as the Landry Co-op business is settled. It might be a few weeks. Her stay has brought a lot of closure and developed a better relationship with her dad. If it wasn't for Billy encouraging him to get a nurse, he never would have met Sandy. The St. Josephine School Board debate begins. The opponent is very upset, saying Hollywood just wants to have mind control over their children and to spread lies, which surprisingly gets the applause from the audience. When it's Hollywood's chance to speak, he shares compassion. His main goal is not attention for himself, but to help the children. He volunteers his own time aside from his job and family business because he cares. As a member of the Dad Patrol, he's a witness to the kids' daily activity. They need everyone's help. They need to help navigating all of the hardships of their daily lives. Caring is not a domain of just being a biological parent. It's the domain of being a human being who wants to be better in our community. The opponent strikes back. How are you going to educate our kids? I mean, you didn't even finish high school. Hollywood doesn't get upset. And he doesn't deny that fact. School was fine for him until he got closer to high school. He struggled and no one noticed him struggling. He then was too ashamed to ask for help. That caused him to fall behind. When his mom was laid off, he got a job to help. His mom didn't know he would work full time, but when she found out, she was hotter than fish grease. The comment gets a little laughter from the audience, and he continues. When graduation time rolled around, no one noticed that I had fallen through the cracks. And that's what I see with some of these kids. They are falling through the cracks, just like I did, but we can catch them. Me and my wife were just approved to be foster parents, and we want to help as many children as possible. I want to be a part of the change, and I want to at least try. That's what I'm asking for your votes. My name is Hollywood Desane, and to me, all of these kids are stars. After his speech, the entire room stands and applauds. Darla and Ra bring Blue to view the meal. Blue is quite aware of the process of creating sugar. He did a science project on processing sugar. Most kids in DC have no idea where their food comes from. He likes farming. They have a small garden at Sidwell that Mrs. Obama started when Sasha and Mila went there. He now wants to check out some of their part numbers. Darla whispers to Ralph, "See, he's fine. You shouldn't worry so much." Vi is anxious to preparing the room for their foster child. Will it be a boy, a girl? Will they know why they're in foster care? Will we know what they've been through? Hollywood just wants her to relax and not worry so much. All they can do is take one day at a time. She's so proud of the way he handled that debate. He did such a great job. His opponent didn't even know what to say. They have both come a long way and should be proud. Aunt Martha's home seems to be like a time capsule. Dominic notices it seems as if Martha disconnected herself from people. Nova clarifies that the women in her family are very strong. Her aunt had a gift, as many of them did. When Martha's dad found out about it, he saw it as a curse, and he sent Martha away. When her father died, he was in Haiti. But Martha said that he visited her in her dreams and they made peace. Nova often sees her parents in her dreams. In Martha's book, she writes to Nova that this is Trudy's room. Enter the room when you're ready. When Nova goes to open the door, it seems to either be locked or gives resistance. Nova cries, I guess I'm not ready. Micah and Kiki are excited about the collective. It's a shame that there's a need for a Black collective. White supremacy works fast, but Micah is confident that they can work faster. He then receives an email. It's the Law Enforcement Accountability Project. They match artists with projects that amplify police aggression. In the email, he's offered a position as the East Coast coordinator for the Law Enforcement Accountability Project. He's not only got a job offer, but in New York. Kiki remembers when Micah said when he finished school, he would do something amazing, and he did just that. He left the offer from Harvard and followed his heart and dreams. Micah is now a bit reserved. What about the collective? I can't drop out of school. My parents would be so upset. Kiki wants him to know that his parents would want him happy. If he thinks that he has reservations, then he should convince his parents. He takes a moment to thank Kiki. If it wasn't for her, he wouldn't have settled into New Orleans. She is New Orleans to him. She gives him a kiss on the cheek and they hug, knowing that goodbyes are on the way. Everyone reminisces about Blue's granddad, but all they can do is live on. Ralph gets a call from Prosper and Cordell has some news. Sam Landry is getting evicted. They all watch as Sam's items are being placed on the land. Ralph wants him to know who exposed him to the USDA and screams from across the way, "Hey, Landry, that was the Bordelons and the Black farmers of St. Joe. We did that." All Sam Landry can do is look beyond in shock. The hosting event at Nova's begins. She meets Dr. Barnes, their program's chair, who jokes to Nova, "You must be Wi-Fi's girlfriend." Wi-Fi? The entire time that we were in the desert, Dominic searched for Wi-Fi to call you. It's nice to meet you, Mrs. Bordelon, and thank you for hosting. Dr. Barnes is one of the few Black archaeologists who chairs at the university. Now he wants to share some information with Dominic discreetly. This information hasn't gone public yet. Tulane University has been chosen to participate in an international delegation for a landmark dig in Bamako, Mali. I would like Dominic to lead that project. This project must be passed down to a younger generation. 16 months in the cradle of civilization. You earned it, Dominic. I can't think of anyone else better to represent me and the university. Think about it. After Dr. Barnes walks away, it's a bittersweet moment between Nova and Dominic. He doesn't want to be away from Nova that long and this soon. But he wants this opportunity he's wanted his entire career. Nova says that he should go. Dominic invites Nova to go with him to Africa, but she wants him to just go. Even though he says that she's his love, his best friend, and one of the most favorite people he knows in the world, it's his destiny, his path, and he has to follow it. They hug, and they both hold back tears. Their journey together has come to an end. Later, Billy invites Nova to get some drinks after such a breakup. Before Nova can decline the offer, Billy calls. She just wanted to check in to make sure that she was okay. And Nova says she's fine. She's focusing on a new subject. Her screen reads of the title, Aunt Martha's Porch Poems. She's just following where the universe takes her. Some members of the co-op view the newscast. Businessman Sam Landry, behind loan payments, is accused of bribing local USDA officials. The land seizure is set for auction this week, one of the most largest asset seizures in Louisiana history. Rathina says that she wouldn't wish that on her worst enemy. All that land. Billy reminds her the majority of the land was stolen from Black farmers. Ra's land is now a part of that seizure. Darla suggests that Ra use his advance money. The people of the co-op can pitch in. Although Ra remembers that they didn't have enough money for Prathina's land, and she has less land than the Landrys. Everyone will try to get this land. Prosper doesn't want to add bad news, but he got word that Sam isn't going down without a fight. He's calling in some old favors from everywhere. Sam has friends with deep pockets, but St. Joe has people with bigger hearts. Darla adds, win or lose, we should at least try. Prosper announces to the co-op, now Ralph has helped us out a lot, and now it's time to help him. Sam Landry's auction is in 2 days, and every little bit helps. Please. They all start to place money into a hat. Micah calls his mom to share the good news about the job offer, and Charlie isn't too excited. Him taking this role means dropping out of school. His decision will affect the rest of his life. Micah wants her to know that he didn't call for her permission, and he's not asking for it. He's an adult, and he's strongly considering this offer. He's never been more sure of things in his life. He has a lot of connections to assist in getting things done in the community. This will be his career, what he's always wanted. This is the time that you say, congratulations, Micah, I'm happy for you. But Charlie says that she's just not sure of anything anymore and hangs up without saying goodbye. Vi is now nervous. They haven't heard anything yet. She's not young anymore. And what if it's not the right time? Do you think they changed their minds? Hollywood wants Vi to relax. She's timeless, and any child would be happy to call her mama. Nova meets with Miss Pearl. They gather to say their prayers for Martha. Martha deserves this. Thank you, Nova, for coming. Nova prays that when Martha's spirit is separated from her body, that she's in peace. They circle clockwise, holding hands, and once more individually. Nova raises her head and hands to the sky, saying, thank you, Aunt Martha, for being on the left and the right of me. I feel you. Thank you. And that is the end of the episode. And now is your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. Only one more episode left, you guys, of the amazing OWN Network original series, Queen Sugar. Now, I've said in the previous recaps and reviews of this season that I wish that they wouldn't have spent time on Billy as much, Prosper's storyline, all of these other storylines that I could care less about. My main focus was the family, the Bordelon family, what's going on with the Landrys, the land, and the meal. That was the main thing. And we are aware that there was a cast member that played Charlie that was no longer part of the production and filming of this last season. So we do have to give production and writing a pass when it came to changing a lot of things around. But to me, I'm a little saddened that they didn't place more focus on the issue between Darla, Ra, and Chase and Blue, right? That whole family dynamic, and then maybe going through some type of legal situation. That would have made more sense instead of that previous episode when they just handed him a whole bunch of documents and he's like, okay, it's like, and they could have spent more time on Nova learning more about her mother's side of the family and that land. That would have filled in a lot of those gaps in a lot of those episodes. I don't know if that was just too much and maybe too much detail that they just wanted to just kind of braze over, but to me that made more sense. I'm so sick of Billy's character. I was so sick of that. Like, I'm like, okay, we know that you came back home and you got some closure and we got some information about the rumors that happened to you within St. Joe. Okay, cool. But for them to stretch this out and to add Sandy, I was like, come on, like, do I need to call Oprah and him? But anywho, there's only one episode left. So, I mean, hey, what do you say? I mean, to me, this would have made more sense if there would have been a spinoff, maybe following Micah into his new journey, maybe following Ra and the land and all that. But like I've said in previous seasons, it would have been redundant when it comes to the Bordelons and their whole journey. It would have been redundant. The only thing that would have made more sense in order to keep it pushing into a spinoff, because we want to end this series, not cancel it, but we want to bring the storylines to a close. That's what this series deserves. The audience deserves to know some type of ideas of the families being okay. Now, in the previous episode, I did say that Hollywood is finally getting what he wanted. which is fostering children. He knows that Vi is older, right? She's had her experiences with a bad marriage before that. So the thought of children and going through that path again and all of her traumas, it was a lot. So now they've reached to a point in both of their lives where Hollywood has wanted to foster children. He's wanted the real spot. He's wanted all of this stuff. But a lot of the times he had to put what he wanted on the back burner because he loved Vi so much, okay? And so we're finally seeing that his heart's content, that this is something that I really want to do. This is also something that they could have implemented in place of Prosper and Billy and put more information. I would have loved to see more episodes about Hollywood's journey and joining the school board and doing more for the kids and doing more for the school and the Dab Patrol. That would have been great because it correlates what's happening in present day with a lot of the schools. A lot of children feeling lost, a lot of shootings, unfortunately, and just children that really don't have the guidance. And there are real life organizations like Dab Patrol that help the school because there's only so much a school, right, can do by themselves when you have hundreds of children, right, or lots of children in a community. And sometimes the teachers and the principal, they can't do it alone. They need parents. They need people on the outside volunteering. They need all of that, right? In private schools, it's different because we have a smaller school. It's a smaller focus, right? And there's more of a narrow kind of focus on a certain amount of children. And plus, they're paying for those additional services. When it comes to state schools, it's more difficult. So there's a lot of things that are lost when it comes to the fluidity of schools. And I thought that was beautiful to add to the series, but it feels like it's crunched into these last few episodes. But I mean, there's only so much they can do. The writers and everybody, I'm pretty sure just a lot of stuff was out of whack with filming, the pandemic. It was just, I give them kudos for doing their best to tell some sort of story and give the audience something and not waiting a whole nother year and keeping the audience confused and remembering previous storylines. Now, what I did think that was off was the conversation with Micah and Charlie, right? Now, they did use, because I have an impeccable memory, right? They used previous audio clippings of that Charlie character from seasons ago. And she says, I just don't know. And you're changing your whole future. Like, what decision you're making. That is the same audio clip of when Micah said that he didn't want to go to Harvard and that he wanted to go to school in Louisiana. I remember that. They just took those sound bites and placed it there, right? Because where we are in this season, it seems odd to me to leave a bitter, kind of taste of the character of Charlie. I don't know if in the final episode they're going to have this character kind of change their mind and support Micah. It just leaves the character Charlie like, why would she do that to her son? And it makes you feel kind of angry with her. Charlie has done a lot as a character in the series, and I hope they don't leave that on a negative note that her son is going to New York and she's upset with that. It's kind of like, So hopefully we'll see what we're going to do. Now, the scene with Vi and the lady from the pie company, it just seemed like a get out moment. It just seemed like she was really taking advantage of Vi, like, ooh, put the recipes on paper. And then there's like this Aunt Your Mama, cover of her, and it just doesn't look up to date. It kind of looks like, we're this white company that wants to take advantage of all your recipes, and you're doing what we're just gonna steal it all. I can make a good guess that Vi is just gonna say, we're just gonna do this locally, we're gonna do this our way, and sell these pies to where we know the recipes are gonna be perfect. That to me makes more sense, right? Once again, we could have been given more time with that instead of Hollywood and the two kids and their problems with their dad. I'm like, they could have took all that out, added in more stuff with Hollywood by Ra and the Land and Landry and Nova and the auntie. They could have added all of that in there. But hey, I'm not a part of the writer's room. I wish I could have been in one of those seats and saying, hey, let's do that. But hopefully Vi can see the deceptiveness. The lady from the pie company really seemed a little deceptive and like, we just want to hear them get this out. The covers of those pie boxes, I wasn't feeling that. Maybe that's me as a viewer, like, what the heck is that? And then you don't have the cinnamon right and the display isn't right. I mean, Vi had people all the way down the street in line for an hour just to get the pie, right? And to me, that's more of a worthy, true home net. The recipe is going to be on point rather than that. Let me know what you think. I'm really, really curious to see how they're going to close this amazing series. Make sure that you check that out. Like this video. Donate to the channel if you would like to. There is an icon a little bit below the screen where it says thanks. There's like a little heart with a little money sign or something like that. If you want to donate to the channel, that would be awesome. That will provide me means to get better editing, to things to be more faster, clearer, more HD, all that good stuff. So donate if you want to. If not, to me, your donation to the channel is just writing your comments, liking this video, and just telling me your ideas and your perspective and debates, questions, and whatever you want to say in the comments. Because to me, there's nothing like a healthy debate, and I love to see what other people are thinking. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Leave those comments down below, and I will see you for the final episode. Stay tuned. And in the meantime, in between time, remember to take care of yourself and each other. Bye.